What's going on, everyone? Mike Kadlick, Tayler Kyles here for CLNS Media outside of Gillette Stadium as the Patriots get set to take on the Miami Dolphins this week. Unfortunately, they're going to do so without center David Andrews. A quick reminder, we are powered by Prize Picks and Game Time. Head over to Prize Picks, use code CLNS for $50 when you play $5, and head over to Game Time, use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. So like I said, Taylor, no David Andrews this week. It was reported early this morning by Mass Live's Mark Daniels that Andrews will require surgery on his injured shoulder from Sunday. The report originally was that he was going to weigh his options, may wait to get the surgery to be healthy for 2025, or sit out and risk being injured. But then it comes out from NFL Network's CNN report that he will in fact have surgery. Maye confirms that this afternoon, and he is a candidate to go on injured reserve and miss the season. So first and foremost, big picture, Taylor, what does Andrews' injury mean to the Patriots and their offensive line?
Yeah, I mean, they just lost their second captain that we know of so far. Obviously, a leader, a great communicator on and off the field. Someone everybody keeps bringing up toughness when they talk about David Andrews, the things that he's battled, not only in terms of, injuries on the field, but in his life. He had the blood clot situation in 2019. Even this summer, his son was at Hasbro Hospital, and, all the things he's had to deal with and overcome. And David Andrews, as a leader on this team, has done a great job, keeping perspective. When you hear him on the Quick Snap podcast, it's really cool getting his perspective and really just all the lessons he's learned from these different eras of Patriots football. So losing that on the field is obviously going to be huge. Now, the team did mention, Dietrich Weiss specifically, that David Andrews is expected to still be around the team and serve as that leader, kind of like what we saw with Juwan Bentley, which will be huge in its own right. But on the field, you lose somebody who was your main communicator, because in this Alex Van Pelt West Coast offense, it is Andrews making a lot of the calls, making a lot of the checks. Now, I will say, Nick Leverett has had a decent amount of experience with the starting line, at least that we know of from practice, because when it's been open, we've seen a lot. Nick Leverett rotating in with the starting offensive line. Even some days where David Andrews had his veteran rest days, you still saw that they were putting in Nick Leverett. So in terms of the transition, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. It's really more that David Andrews just being, again, the leader. I keep saying it, but it's what he is. He's, on the Mount Rushmore of current Patriots, and it's a tough loss.
So let's dive into that a little bit more. You mentioned Andrews being a pivotal piece of the offense, the center position in general, because they make line calls, they make adjustments, they take a lot off of the quarterback in this Alex Van Pelt system. Let's loop it into Drake Maye. Let's talk about it. Does this injury to Andrews, potentially losing your starting center, having to deal with the backup for the rest of the season, impact at all the Patriots' development plan for Drake Maye? Now, Maye was asked this morning. He said that they're two separate things. I don't know how much I buy it, though. It's tough to look at the Patriots. They want to, they wanted to kind of slow play this, bring in the veteran, let Drake Maye learn and grow, get different things ready, get the offensive line, intact, seeing things through one set of eyes before they put the quarterback in there. Now, with all the injuries, you mentioned Vidarian Lowe, Michael Jordan, a bunch of different guys. City So just comes back. It's kind of been, they're dealing with a ton of attrition up front, and now they lose their center. So originally we thought this Sunday in the stadium behind us that Drake Maye could play against the Dolphins. Now it doesn't look like it. They're going to continue with Jacoby as the starter. Do you think moving forward, Drake Maye starting could be pushed forward because of all the injuries along the offensive line?
So we'll start with talking about Nick Leverett, because he didn't allow any pressures once he went in against the 49ers. He did have some losses, but he didn't allow the pressures. It's just one-on-one on quick throws where he didn't win the rep. But still, zero pressures. As a run blocker, I thought he looked really good, especially on outside zone where we know the Patriots have been inconsistent, though there have been positive flashes. I thought he looked really good next to City So when working with Layden Robinson. Although I will note that Leverett wasn't doing anything in practice today while we were here. They actually did sign Jerome Carvin back to the practice squad, a guy who has at least 3 position versatility. He can play all along the interior. We actually saw him working with the starting offensive line at some points to try to add some center depth. Now, with all that being said, I think it's not just about David Andrews. I think it's about this offensive line trying to find some consistency for at least a couple of weeks. Every single week, we have seen a different lineup for the Patriots front. I think maybe for Drake Maye, you just want a couple weeks of continuity. Yeah. If you can get those guys with consecutive weeks of film so you can see what needs to be corrected, get some kind of chemistry going, I think that may be the thing that may keep Drake Maye off the field a little bit longer. But I also think the team understands if Jacoby Brissett continues to play poorly, put the team in bad spots with these turnovers, with these missed opportunities, and they say, you know what, Drake Maye looks good in practice, we think he gives us the best chance to win, I really don't think the offensive line situation is is going to be as much of a factor if it does get to that kind of desperate point.
There was never going to be a perfect landing spot here. Injuries, you deal with it every single week in the NFL. Offensive line specifically, it's not the deepest position across the league in general, so it was never going to be perfect for Drake Maye, but now it seems like they're not going to be able to put him in the game on their terms because the offensive line isn't going to be perfect. It was never going to be perfect, but here, that's where we're at sitting here. Heading into week 5 against the Dolphins, still no Drake Maye. David Andrews looking like he's out for the season as the Patriots get set to take on the Miami Dolphins from Gillette Stadium on Sunday.
Make sure to subscribe to Patriots Press Pass for all your Patriots news and updates on YouTube, and for all our written work, make sure you check out clnsmedia.com.